Video, I'll be giving you some tips and tricks on how to improve your keyboard gameplay when you've only just switched from controller. This here was my gameplay only one day into playing keyboard and mouse, and later on we have clips from me just under 2 weeks in, and it's a lot better. The first thing I'd recommend is your keybinds. If you already have them set, that's great, but if you don't, you're going to need some good keybinds. I got mine from Fearball the Bird. If you don't know who that is, I'll put a picture up here on the screen now. But you should also remember to use the keybinds that feel good for you and not the ones that pros use. And the final thing that we recommend about your keybinds is change your sprint button to shift, because currently your crouch will be shift and you're going to be using to sprint a lot more than you're going to be crouching. So I just recommend swapping them to around. When playing, you're not going to want your hands on the most random part of the keyboard. So the second tip is going to be placement of your hands. When I play, I usually have my middle finger on W and the one next to it on A and the other one on the other side on D. And I'll switch between using my middle finger on W and S. Also, using your pinky finger on shift is the best way to put it, because your finger's already on that part and you don't use that little finger for much else. Another thing I did, and I know a lot of other people did, is on their first few days, it'll feel uncomfortable. And they always just end up quitting and going back to controller, which is just they shouldn't do, because at the end of the day, after a few days of keyboard, it will start to feel comfy and it will end up so much better. Now the third thing is not thinking you're going to be an absolute pro after just a few days on keyboard. Even though you will see a drastic improvement to your gameplay, especially within a few weeks, you just shouldn't assume that just because you're switching to a thing that you will end up playing better on, that you're going to instantly become a lot better than you already was. I know for me personally, in the Sword and Axe kit, I was better than I was on controller in under a week, or maybe just over a week, but that doesn't mean for everybody you're going to instantly become better. It will take time and it will be kind of annoying and hard, but it will eventually be a lot worth it. Also real quick, this is my first ever video on this channel. I only made the account recently, so if you could please subscribe and like the video, I'd be really appreciated. The fourth thing, and probably actually the most important thing, is what keyboard and mouse you have. You want to aim for a keyboard and mouse that's not flimsy and bad and has good input, but you also don't want to spend too much and break the bank. So I recommend around £30 to £40. I'm not sure that is in dollars. I think it's around the same. But yeah, that's a good price range for one that's good, not too expensive, and will work fine. My keyboard is a magnetic 60%. I'm actually not too sure what the mouse is, but they both work really well and they costed around 30 to 40 each. Another thing that people think is that you'll need a really good desk, really good chair, really good monitor and everything if you're going to use keyboard and mouse. I actually just use my TV, I have my keyboard and mouse plugged into my Xbox, I have my keyboard on my bed and my mouse on a book that's also on my bed. Obviously, it'd be a lot better to have a better setup, but you can actually play very well with just simple things. Tip 5 is a tip that I also personally use. Is you shouldn't always go straight for a really hard kit. For example, if you've just started keyboard and mouse, you shouldn't go straight trying Mace, UHC, Picard, Crystal. You start something simple like Sword and Axe. The way I did it is I started on Sword, then went to Axe, and then between UHC and Diamond SMP, they're both quite hard because they're quite mechanical game modes, but one of them will do. After that, you should actually start to become quite comfortable with playing and using a lot of hotkeys. So then you can start going into big game modes like Mace, Crystal and Car. Also need to remember it will take time. You're not going to instantly become good at Sword because it's the easiest kit. It still is kind of hard to learn when you start from scratch, but you will eventually become very good, and it should happen in quite a short amount of time. Now the final tip, and something you probably wouldn't expect, is to avoid burnout. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means avoid playing too much and forcing yourself to play even when you don't want to, because eventually you'll not want to play and then you'll take a big break and all your progress will come crumbling down. I personally did this a few times. When I first started playing, I'd actually stay up until 4 AM, grinding the game out, trying to get good on keyboard. Also just remember, just because you're not as good as you want to be yet, you shouldn't just force yourself to play until you are, because it will take time, so you shouldn't force yourself to play because you're not as good as you want to be right now. Now, that's the end of the video, but I'd like to say one more time, like I already said, if you please like and subscribe. This is my first video on a new channel. I'd really appreciate it. I had to edit this whole thing using my phone, so if you could like and subscribe, I'd better get better equipment to make better videos and help you guys out more. Thank you, and I hope you come back to watch the next video. It will probably be some PvP tutorials.